to welcome everybody here to the Douglas County Chamber Greystone Power Luncheon, sponsored by Hampton Inn and Suites. I would like to now invite Tamika Milton on behalf of our sponsor to come up and say a few words.
Thank you. I am Tamika Milton, the Director of Sales for the Hampton Inn and Suites Atlanta Six Flags. We're located directly off of Thornton Road, literally across the street from Mercer University, behind the Toyota dealership. Our hotel has 101 spacious studio suites as well as standard rooms. We offer a delicious breakfast that can accommodate with different types of foods that can accommodate any type of eating lifestyle. We have meeting space that is approximately 1,200 square feet that can accommodate up to approximately 40 people classroom style, 70 people theater style. We do a lot of small social gatherings as well as corporate meetings. In our hotel, we offer a business center as well as an outdoor heated pool. And we would love to have everyone out to do a site visit with us so that you can experience the Hamptonality that we have to offer. You will feel it when you walk through the doors through our employees. You can savor it through the food that we serve there, and you will see it in the touch points with our guest rooms, our elevators, our fitness centers, and everywhere else in the hotel. So we would love for you to contact us to come out and take a look at our hotel. And if you have overnight accommodation needs or just meeting space or just in the area and want a cup of coffee, stop by and see me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tamika. We appreciate you and Hampton Inn and Suites for your community service. Before we give thanks to this delicious meal, I would like to offer a special thanks to Sam and Roscoe's for catering today. Now I would like to ask Steve Morgan if he would come forward and lead us in invocation and prayer.
Please rise for the invocation and pledge allegiance. Bow with me, please. Heavenly Father, we are just so blessed to be able to gather and in a room with so many intelligent people and business leaders and government leaders, and be able to share ideas and come together and have a nice meal, Lord. We appreciate this opportunity so much that you've given us. We appreciate all of the blessings that you've provided us in this life. Thank you. We pray that you will continue to be with our government leaders, our business leaders, all of those in this community. Pray, Lord, that you will be with our military, all those men and women that are sacrificing the ultimate for the rights that you've bestowed upon this great nation. Lord, I pray the blessing of this food for the nourishment of our bodies to your service. In Christ's name I pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is now my pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker, Congressman David Scott. David Scott is the U.S. Representative for the 13th District of Georgia. He is serving his 5th term representing portions of 6 counties: Cobb, Clayton, Douglas, Fulton, Henry, and DeKalb. Congressman Scott sits on a number of influential committees, including the Financial Services Committee, the Agriculture Committee, and the NATO Parliamentary Assembly. Congressman Scott is providing leadership in strengthening our economy, improving health care, enhancing education, and fostering energy independence. He is taking a leadership role in Congress by fighting for Peach Care, to bring commuter rail to the Atlanta suburbs, to direct more stimulus funding to foreclosure relief. Congressman Scott has authored authored the law providing student loan repayment assistance for public attorneys, the law recognizing Father's Day by flying the flag, and the law to allow Georgians to request 2 free credit reports annually. Each year, Congressman Scott hosts a jobs fair, health fair, and foreclosure prevention events to tackle the urgent unemployment, health care, and housing needs of the 13th District. Congressman Scott served in the Georgia House of Representatives from 1974 to 1982 and the Georgia Senate from 1983 to 2002. David Scott was born in Ionora, South Carolina. He received his BA degree with honors from Georgia A&M University. He received his MBA degree with honors from the Wharton School of Finance at the University of Pennsylvania. He is married to the former Alfreda Aaron and has 2 daughters, a son-in-law, and 2 grandchildren. Congressman Scott is the son of a minister and is a man of strong faith and conviction. Please join me in welcoming Congressman David Scott.
Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me? Wonderful, wonderful. Well, good afternoon. And I am indeed honored to have this opportunity to speak to you today. I love Douglas County. I love the people of Douglas County. It's a joy, absolute joy, representing you in the Congress of the United States. And I want to thank you for giving me that opportunity, and I appreciate it so very much. Thank you. It's good to be here with so many of you, and I know so many of you personally and are great friends. And I just want to say how important this particular meeting and this opportunity for me to talk to you is because of the many challenges that we're facing. And none more significantly than in our economic revitalization effort. And the fact that Douglas County is at the forefront of that. And that's because you've had such capable leadership. People that have had the vision and the foresight to be able to see not just down the road, but be able to see around corners. You're able to have that vision. And that's one of the reasons why you're one of the fastest growing counties, and one of the reasons why you have many, many businesses now that are deciding of all the places to locate and have their businesses, Douglas County is paramount. And so I think you deserve great commendation as you look around and you see companies like Tyco International who've opened up their shop here in Douglas County. Quaker Oats, Colgate-Palmolive companies. I mean, these are name brand companies that go with people that and businesses that have been here providing the backbone for you. Like the Georgia Power Company, Greystone, the WellStar Hospital and medical operations, all located here. Medline, a new company is coming and opening up here. You and the Red Cross with its regional facilities here in Douglas County. And I'm just proud to play a role in that for the years that I have been representing Douglas County. And I've had such a joy working with many of you. Chairman Tom Wartham, your outstanding chairman. Won't you give him a hand? Don't you think he's outstanding? Tom Wartham was one of the very first people I met and had a great conversation with. And I'm going to tell you all something because I want to say this out front right early. That I was thrilled today too in meeting with Mayor Persons. And what a great visit we had in your office, Mayor. Now, what I want to tell you is that it's so similar to the visit I had with Tom Ward. And it's something you need to know. I mean, we're in there talking about all the challenges, and the next thing you know, we're quoting scripture. Now, That is very important to me. And when Mayor Persons and I got in there and started talking about Judah and the fight, the Israelites, and how we had to balance, and I told him he had to be like King Jehoshaphat. When those threats come, you got to mount up and you got to go praying, but only it's going to work when the whole town is praying together. And he would finish my sentences and I would finish his. What a visit that was. And what's so amazing is that same thing happened when I visited with Tom Wortham. Am I right about it, Tom? That's right. So what I'm saying is, a part of the reason why Douglas County is as successful as you are is that you put God first in your leadership. And I've experienced it. I'm not telling you anything that's not here. And then on your city council, I've met your city council members, but LaShawn Danley, please, would y'all mind if Miss Danley, council lady, stand up there? I just love that lady. I love her, and I don't want anybody to tell her husband, tell her boyfriend, I forget which one, but please. I really do. You have some, I was saying, Tom Davis over there, Tom Davis is over there. Sam Davis, Tom, excuse me, Tom Davis is a congressman from, I think he was from Tampa. No, he's from Virginia that I was a good friend with, I got it mixed up. But Mr. Councilman Davis over there, and your Mr. Robinson, I think you got a council on your county commission. So many of you who are just great public servants, and that's why Douglas County is moving. And then to have such an outstanding business community. Miss Callie Boatwright, is she still in here someplace? Stand up there, Callie. Please, y'all give Callie a hand. I hope you all don't mind me recognizing these folks, but I've been working with these folks since I set foot in Douglas County. And it's because of them and because of your outstanding business community, your outstanding political leadership, that we have made some significant contributions. And I want to just share with you very quickly, because this is very important, and I hope you don't mind. But it's important for you to know what we're doing in Washington, what you have here, because you're making great strides, and because of that, we have been able to do some great things for you in Washington. And I want to talk about just a few of those, and then I also want to save some time at the end so that we might have some questions and answers, and because I don't want to come to you on my constituency and not have a chance for you to ask me questions as well. And if I don't have the answers to them, I have a crackerjack staff right here that's ready to provide them for you. And I want to stand right quick. Chandra, would you stand? These are the people that do the work, folks. This is my staff, Chandra Harris. Isaac, you want to say, Ryan, would you stand? Tim Alberg, y'all stand? Yeah. He did stand, you all. Short, a little short. Well, what a great staff, and we got a good team here, and it takes a team to do all this stuff. But let me just tell you something. You know, we've got one of the biggest, best projects moving now, and that's Highway 92. This is very, very important. But this project, again, you know, in my opening remarks, I said the reason why Douglas County is moving the way it is because you have people of vision and people who could put ideas out. One of these was Highway 92. That's been on the burner for a long time. And I'm just very pleased to have played a role in working with a number of people and being able to secure the $95 million. That's one of the largest public works projects in this part of Georgia that's coming through here. And through a lot of trial and tribulation and a lot of effort, mostly by you all, the business community, the political leadership. Anytime you bring in a road or of this massive upheaval and difference, and we're not just talking about paving a road or coming through, we're talking about altering landscape. We're talking about coming down Brown Avenue, I think it's Brown Avenue, Brown Street, coming around. We're talking about going under the railroad. building a tunnel, coming out the other side. This is major league stuff, folks, for Douglas County. And then we're talking about finally being able to bring the northern part of this county together with the other part of this county. Now, that requires a great deal of sacrifice. Over 50 homes and maybe 42 businesses have to be displaced. But these individuals are making that sacrifice. We're able to bring the funds in so that we are amply compensating folks for the relocation. But it is a joint team effort. And I can't begin to tell you how much easier it has made our job in facilitating to know that you have folks on the ground here working out the wrinkles, making sure communities are involved, making sure individuals are satisfied as we move forward. And this is why we're moving with success. And this road is going to improve the residential quality of life. Very important. And it's going to improve business opportunities, the flow of traffic, and going to bring people into this region who otherwise would not come through, visiting with the shops and the businesses, giving great economic growth and connecting right down their Hospital Drive as we move out on Fairburn into 92. The whole lighting situation will improve. As you may know, from here to the Alabama line, there are no lights on the expressway. That is going to change. This whole area is going to be brighter, it's going to be livelier, it's going to grow, and the economic growth is going to be extraordinarily consequential for small businesses. For when you bring more customers into your region, they're the ones that spend the money in the smaller businesses. And that's where this economic growth is going to take place. But we're not stopping there, folks. We're going to also put millions of dollars into the Lee Road expansion down in the Lithia Springs part of this county and improve that entire interchange, the business growth there. That's where Sweetwater comes right down into there. You're going to have a major, major expansion of that exit and entrance. That's going to grow more businesses. Just look what has happened when we expanded right there at 92 and Interstate 20. And not only are we going to do that with broadening the bridge and the walkways, but also expand Lee Road, widen it all the way down to Highway 92 Fairburn Road, which helps you to be able to get that flow of traffic. And then we're going over here to State Road 5, which is Bill Arp, up right where we have that interchange up there, Rose Avenue and Bill Arp and Bankhead Highway or Veterans Memorial. That's going to be expanded. But we're not going to stop there because you've got one of the jewels, which is probably, as you know, Arbor Mall is one of the most successful and is the largest mall. You have to get all the way to Birmingham, into Alabama, this way, to get a mall with the rich diversity. And the one area that could stymie that growth is not having adequate transportation and the traffic flow. You're growing so fast that we're going to make sure that that State Road 5, that Bill Arp exit and entrance is widened and improved greatly. Your business growth is going that way, it's going this way, and it's going each way. And we're not going to stop there. We're going to go down with our Highway 5, and we're going to go into that area where there's another kind of a bottleneck and opportunity, where Highway 5 kind of arcs off, and Kings Highway comes into play at Central Church. Money will be spent to improve that exit and entrance, to improve that traffic flow. Each of these areas are tremendous opportunities, not only just in business, but also in jobs, but improves the entire area of that. And I wanted each of you to know what we're doing to make this happen. But I also want you to be very much aware of a couple of things. Don't be fooled or don't be misled in any way of thinking that because that T-SPOS vote failed, that jeopardizes this. That money is federal dollars, separated, already approved, it's there. But you got to be very vigilant. These are tough economic times. And so just as the activity of teamwork got this money and these projects, and this is very significant. And this is why I want to take the time to sort of point this out, because not many counties, not many areas have this configuration, all of this money that's coming into it. And so there comes a time when your strategy has got to be, how do we hold on to the money and the funds that we have in a very, very tough economic time? And let me tell you something. You all have done so well that other areas are talking about you. Now, I have the luxury of representing now 7 counties, including Fayette that we have. And since I've been in Washington and Congress, I've represented over 13 counties, the fast-growing counties. And we've all worked. But those counties and those areas that stick together, that don't have the bickering, that understand that we're all in this together, don't give any daylight to areas where they can see that maybe we can get in there and they're not together anymore like they were. And everybody ain't happy like Congressman says about 92. Or we can go to them. Folks, don't let that happen. Keep your delegations tight. You're going back into a legislative session, and you've got an excellent Douglas County legislative delegation. But they got to watch that money for you. They got to watch for that money. We have got it down, and it's in the state DOT, but it's not in a bank, that 95 million, wrapped in a package with your name on it right there. It comes down in stages, So that's why it's very important that you understand 2 things. That money is there. Douglas County has earned it. You all were together, you sacrificed, you went. This didn't just happen overnight. This happened with a lot of hard work and a lot of teamwork, with many who are sitting in this room and some who are not. Mayor Mickey Thompson, I don't know if he's here or not, but he worked diligently on this. So many of your prior folks. Bill Osborne, I see Bill, raise your hand. Y'all know Bill Osborne? Been on this project since day one. We must not let anything happen. That's the first order of things that I want to say, is to have your delegation, not just the Douglas County delegation. Paulding County has a tremendous stake in this. This whole project comes out of there. And the folks are coming from that part of the state of Georgia coming down. And they're going to come down. It's going to increase the flow and the shopping at Arbor Mall and going to improve this whole general economy. Carroll County, all the surrounding counties, to make sure it's a priority of your state delegations that nothing happens to this money, that this goes on the record, that we have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. It's already laid out. Properties are already being sold and bought. Exchange, reallocation is taking place. It should all basically be done in about 10 or 12 months. All of these things are on target. Make sure you're vigilant to know when each step is to be done by each date. There are changes in personnel that's going on at the DOT. The chief engineer is no longer going to be there, Gerald Ross. We want to make sure that nothing falls through the crack here. And keep in mind, there are other people that would love to be in the position that Douglas County is in with this plethora of construction, projections, and transportation projects that are happening. So we want to do that here. And now, you want to do the same thing in Washington. That is a different picture. The money has been allocated, it's there, but we're faced with a tremendous challenge in Washington, the likes of which this country hadn't seen in quite a while. We're coming out of a tough economic time, but we in Washington are faced with some tremendous challenges, most of which we did to ourselves in the Congress. For example, we are now faced with sort of like a gun to our head that was put there and we call it a sequester. What happened was, in order to give the President of the United States the authority to pay down our debts and raise the debt ceiling, something that had been done automatically for every president since George Washington through George Bush. But with this president, it changed. And they said in order for this president to raise the debt ceiling, to pay our obligations, he had to put a super committee together to cut $1.2 trillion out of the budget. If not, by a certain time, we put a trigger in there, which is a sequester, which means it'll be an automatic cut, half defense and half domestic. That would happen. Now, what a foolish mistake that was. But that's the kind of situation you get faced in when you fail to do the one fundamental thing that any democracy must do. In a free, democratic republic country like ours, where there are many different opinions, that's what makes freedom great. In all of this room, nobody thinks exactly alike, but I guarantee you one thing. If something happened in this room and we had to figure out how to get out here and you had to agree on a position to do it, we all would have to come to some level of agreement to do it. But not now. We're at the point where the one word that has made this country great, that has succeeded in this country being what it is today, and that word is compromise, been thrown out of the window. Let me just tell you, folks, where would we be if we didn't have compromise? Let me ask you, do you all remember Thomas Jefferson? Probably my two greatest, I have three great founding fathers. And I want to bring them to mind here so we understand how ridiculous it is for us to be in this position, where your money for these roads are threatened after you've earned it, after we've given it to you, because of a failure to compromise. Thomas Jefferson and my other favorite, all of the founding fathers are favorites of mine, but Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton, they hated each other's guts. But where would we be as a nation if we didn't have Jefferson's idealism of liberty and justice, the fundamental beliefs and values of our American system? We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with unalienable rights, among them life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And Alexander Hamilton, who required, who demanded that we, in order to survive, must have a strong central government and a central banking system. There would be no stock market. Our commercial system would not be in place without Hamilton, our liberties and freedoms without Jefferson. But they had to come together, these two guys. And my third favorite founding father was John Adams. And why? Because in order to get Hamilton and Jefferson together, it was John Adams who would go and tell Hamilton to come over to the house for dinner. And then he would go and tell Jefferson to come over to the house for dinner. But he wouldn't tell Hamilton he's inviting Jefferson, wouldn't tell Jefferson he's inviting Hamilton. So when they get there, Jefferson's there, Hamilton comes in, sees Jefferson, and wants to turn around and go. But John Adams had meanwhile locked the door behind him. And they couldn't get out. And because of that, they compromised. Where would we be without that? Or if we march down just a little further, probably no greater division in this country has ever been had but the Civil War. And can you imagine? Let me recreate this for you. And our history is so replete with why we need to compromise. So here's this scene at the White House. Two men of great value. President Abraham Lincoln had Robert E. Lee, and they're standing on what's left of the balcony of the White House then. And they looked over this landscape from Virginia as far as they could see. I mean, smoldering Manassas, I mean, villages, I mean, that's just destruction. Half of the capital had been blown off. No greater division ever. But then this conversation took place. Abraham Lincoln looks at Robert E. Lee and says, to Robert E. Lee, says, "It is not incumbent upon us to complete the task." But then Robert E. Lee finishes the sentence and says, "Neither are we free to desist from doing all we possibly can." So I submit to you, if Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson could come together, if Abraham Lincoln and Robert E. Lee could come together and bring this country back together, surely we, who most of us can't even stand in the shadows of these great men, can come together and compromise. That's the only way we're going to get to be able to hold on to the money that's coming down. Because if sequester comes, it's not just Lockheed and the defense area that's going to have to shave $500 billion like that, $55 billion come January like that, but transportation, education, all of the domestic issues have to be cut as well. And so I submit to you, if all of our work, our future's on these roads and getting them done, your future, your hard work, your planning is on getting them done. You have a delegation, and some of you, I want you to do something for me. I have some friends. I get a lot of credit and my staff for leading the charge on these roads and all this help for you. But these are important projects that have come to fruition because of bipartisanship. So I know some of you are going to Washington. I want you to make sure you go by Saxby Chambliss's office and thank him for this money and for this projects that we have. and Johnny Isaacson, all of whom helped me. We made sure that we were able to get this money on down to you. Phil Gingrey, Paulding County is a part of his area, a lot of these folks. Tom Price, all of us. And then ask them to help us to hold on to it and avoid this sequestration. That is the key. Now I want to close, because I want to have a few minutes to answer any questions. But may I please leave you with this little story that I think is very important at this time. You know, I grew up in the country over in Aner, South Carolina, in a little small town. And you know, in any little town, there's always a man with a wise reputation of being the smartest, wisest man in the community, in the town. And such was the case with this old man. And then there were these two little boys who said, you know what? I don't think that old man is so wise and smart. Tell you what we're going to do. When he comes along here, because he comes along here 12 o'clock every day, tells the other fellow, we're going to get this bird and put him in our hands and put our hands behind our back. When the old man comes by, we're going to ask the old man, is the bird alive or is this bird dead? If the old man says the bird is alive, we'll squeeze this bird and make him dead, and he'll be wrong. If the old man says the bird is dead, we'll bring a bird out and let him fly free. Either way, we got the old man. So the man walks by, and the young fellow says, old man, I've got a bird in my hands behind my back. Tell me, is this bird alive or is this bird dead? Well, the old man scratched his head a bit, and then he looked up and he said, young man, the answer is in your hands. The future of this county, the future of Douglasville is in your hands. Thank you.
If we could, let's just hold off questions till afterwards, if you could be available.
Oh, sure.
We're running kind of behind on time. Thank you, Congressman Scott, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. The Chamber had a very exciting event this morning. If I could get Callie, our CEO, to come up and share it with everybody.
Thank you. Stand right there. Go ahead. Thank you all for being here. I know a few of you were able to join us this morning at 9 o'clock for our logo reveal, and we are really excited about that change today. So we wanted to bring that to you now. As our community and its businesses look forward to the future and a strong foundation for that success, so too does your chamber. The Douglas County Chamber is pleased to introduce its new Infinity logo, which is symbolic of the balance and unity that exists between business and community, and also represents our members' desire to have drive for success without limits. The new logo combines blue from the city of Douglasville and green from the Douglas County logo to symbolize our shared goal to create an environment ideal for both growing your business and growing families. Blue is a color of confidence, integrity, strength, and success. Green represents growth, safety, and stability. As part of the overall branding change, the Douglas County Chamber of Commerce has also shortened its formal name to the Douglas County Chamber. Two important notes for our members. First, we have created a member logo, which will be available for you to use on your website and in your publications as needed. If you will contact the creation of the logo diva, Miss Sarah Ray, she can help you with that. Second, please don't be surprised to still see our old lock and key logo on letterhead and materials for a while. In order to be good stewards of your money as the Chamber of Commerce, we're going to replace the supplies as they run out. So you'll see it take place over the next 6 months or so. I do want to say a huge thanks to our partner in this effort, Chairman's Club member, Entertainment Design Group, and I know Gary is here somewhere. There he is. Gary, you want to stand up? EDG came up with a multitude of ideas and never flinched when we came back with our changes. Steve Guy, Gary Tilt, and all of our great friends from EDG made this happen for the Chamber, and we're so grateful to have an active participant in our community like EDG. So you have my gratefulness and my thanks very much. We are excited to launch this, let y'all know about it, and we look forward to sharing with you all the new changes that are coming up. So thank you.
Thank you to the City of Douglasville for the use of the downtown Douglasville Conference Center, to Salmon Roscoe's for the catering of the great food, to Hampton Inn and Suites for sponsoring today's event, and to Greystone Power for the naming sponsorship. I want to thank all of y'all for attending today, and we look forward to seeing you next Thursday, August the 30th, at The Rock for the AT&T Business After Hours, sponsored by Wellstar Douglas Hospital. I hope everyone has a great afternoon.